Xbox One X. Now this here makes me want to just put the Pro down at A tier because One X was just more powerful, but it's not about the power of your console. It's also about the games that utilize the One X. The One X was actually more powerful than the PS4 Pro because it released afterwards, but it doesn't mean that the Pro was worse than the One X. It's just that they're enhanced version of the console. And this is a weird generation that we're getting into because we were touching a point where we couldn't really tell the difference in resolution whenever you're above 1440p. Whenever you go above 1440p, it's really hard to tell the difference between what's 1600p or what's 1800p, what's full 4K. But this is the era that the gaming fabric has started to rip apart from reality as to what makes gaming special. Everything was about getting better performance, getting better frame rates with Xbox Series S. I'm gonna put this at D tier. The reason being is that why do we need to make a budget-friendly console for the next generation when usually every generation we leave the last console behind? This console has bottlenecked so many games and so many titles that it doesn't give the developers the freedom that they want to develop the games at. And I will continue to say that. I just don't think that this Series S should have been released, but I get what people were trying to do. I get what Microsoft was trying to do. They were trying to ensure that people had an affordability of a console, which I get it, but not in this generation. It just holds back the developers. Now we have the two big one of the current gen. We have the PS5 and Xbox Series X. I'm going to put both at B tier. They both have their pros. They both have their cons. So the pros of that PS5 is that they have console exclusivity. They have a lot more games. They have a lot more variety that you can play from. So I give it to them for that. However, console price increases, cutting physical games. Don't do that. And then again, Series X, not a lot of console exclusive games, but however, there was Game Pass that was a value for your buck, even though the price increased and then it decreased. So none of them really, I say, is above A tier at all. They both have their cons. They both have their pros. I'm going to keep them equally here because if you really wanted affordability, the Series X was there for you to get Game Pass and play as many games as you want. But at the very set time, if you really want what your games can be, PS5 was there. But however, again, Sony's just doing so much of BS right now. I can't forgive them. Steam Deck. All right, this is a hot take. Steam Deck is C tier. Steam Deck is an interesting concept. I just believe we're not truly there with handheld consoles, and we're getting there, but I don't think we're quite there yet. Steam Deck is rated highly by a lot of people. I just think the visual performance of a Steam Deck just isn't there, and maybe the next generation of the Steam Deck will probably be there. That's why I'm going to put the Xbox Ally X at B tier. Again, we're almost there. I just think we're in this middle of where we know how to manage graphics. Whereas we're trying to use AI upscaling, we're trying to use DLSS, we're trying to use FSR in order to make our games look a little bit better. But again, I just don't feel like we're there yet. But again, it is a really good option of a console if you want a console played in your hand. It is a good option if you want to play a game that's on your PC or you want to play a game that's on console in your hand. It is a good option out there.